Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on this beautiful sunny Wednesday, the 26th of September. Oh boy. So yesterday, we went over, gotta get rid of that. We went over talking about whether the market was good to buy the dip on, how it's going to be looked at as how we're looking at the whole market as I'm like looking at many things popping up at once here, trying to make sure that it's all good, but it is okay. So looking at a market that is in its bullish season, and that we should be looking at the entire market as a dip to be bought when it happens. If you hear sounds in the background, it's the contractors again, so I hope that's not too distracting. Goddamn. Although that's not going to last for very long, hopefully. Let me know if it's really irritating. I can ask them to hold off a little bit. But all right, so we've got this looking right here, and that doesn't sound good. Now, where are we at? Really nice, beautiful bounce. So yesterday we were looking at this level right down here, the 6,300, 6,350 zone. We had this shared Fibonacci level here. We have the 618 Fibonacci sequence, followed by the 236 Fibonacci on two different swings, the most recent swing and the larger, most recent swing. And we found prices get support there, traded, bounced back up. We blasted through some other shared zones here, the 382, the 236, and then the 50% retracement level from this swing here from the 6207 up to 6823. We have gone past that 50% level. Initially, we sold off about all the way back above it, if we look at this on the 4 hour, and then have rested right here pretty nicely. So that is a very nice thing to see. We only took 2 trades yesterday because we were looking at a market that was kind of teeter-tottering and didn't want to do a whole lot of crazy stuff. But we did identify some 2 trades yesterday. That was WTC, BTC, and then Zcash. And Walton Chain, that trade yesterday, that has worked out pretty nicely so far. It's up 5.5%. This is one of the laggards. It came down right to this square price and time where we are expecting it to travel pretty nicely up and out of here. So this is still a great entry zone. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Then we had Zcash. Zcash caught a little bit of a bid on a pullback here, and we traded up again and stopped at the 882 retracement. But ultimately, looks like we're just following the contour of this arc. It's holding as support. That is very, very good. So we shouldn't see any big changes. To that. All right. I'm going to pause it while I'm not talking. Or not pause it, just turn the mic off. Maybe. Okay. Now, the other trades that we're looking at, Waves, if you remember that Waves was one that we were looking at last week as getting an entry in, and Waves has been actually operating pretty nicely here. It's had a pretty good trade up, a pretty nice pullback, and this is actually a fantastic looking entry around here. This morning, for those subscribers, I put out 6 trades out for cryptos this morning, followed by another one just before 15 minutes before we came on here, a long trade at 00367. It hasn't tagged that zone yet, but we should see it hit there at some point here later on today. Now, those trades we looked at this morning, Zcash wanted to go long, long at 136.17, a little bit down on it, no big deal. EOS, there we took a trade on it at 551.6. 551.6. That was the breakout we were looking for. That's up here in profit so far. Could go a little bit farther. Basic attention token, that is at 256 was the entrance on there. Kind of flat right now on that one. It's experiencing near a breakout. It's near a breakout as well. And then Litecoin 57.88. That was the entry this morning. Looking for that breakout of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, the neckline break, and it did happen. Pretty textbook inverse head and shoulders pattern where you wait for the neckline break, and that is exactly what we waited for, and we got into it. Excellent. It's like my whole goddamn house is gonna fall down here. So looking ahead, what are we going to be looking at? What are we looking for as far as new trade opportunities going into the day? This is actually pretty exciting. We've got a whole confluence of important price action going on here as we're getting into the afternoon. A half hour after this session ends, so at 2:30, we're getting the FOMC rate minutes and statement and pressers happening. Expect big moves in all the markets. This week is a huge kerfluffle of central banks talking. Bank of Japan, Kuroda, he talked yesterday. One of Bank of Canada's governors talks tomorrow. At the end of the trading day today, the New Zealand Reserve Bank is releasing their rate decisions. So, and I'm going to tell you what, cyclically, this month in rate decisions are generally, like as we're going, like not like every year, but in this pattern that we're in, this could be a pretty ugly time for equities, for the U.S. stock market. Two reasons why. One, history repeats itself. And then number two, we can look at the, actually did this on the dollar index. Number two is this right up here. Look at the daily chart. Yeah, I really see, I bet the dollar index drops over 1% today. By the close, I bet we're down more than 1%. I could be way off though. I could be way off. You know, patterns don't always repeat, but you never know. This right here, and then you can call me insane if you want, but I'm going to ask you how insane it actually is here. But this is from October 5th to November 16th. Why is this called the time of troubles? And really not for cryptocurrencies, as we'll see. This is the Venus retrograde cycle. So this is when Venus, the planet Venus, goes retrograde. Don't leave. Just chill. I want you to see why this is kind of neat. Venus retrograde. That is this little highlight area right here, okay? So this is the S&P 500 daily chart. This is the retrograde cycle of Venus right here. So this is 2018, October 5th of 2018. The last time it happened was April 15th of 2017. What happened prior to and during this cycle? Market was up and it traded down. What happened the cycle before that in the S&P 500? It was trading up and then it fell down. What happening in this cycle before that? It was trading up and then it fell down. We had a pretty flat cycle here. Here we had an up market, which was one of the ones that was kind of, you don't, this will happen. This often happens, especially in flat trending markets. And then as we see in the cycle before, we see it in a downtrend market. But because we've been in such a bull move, when we're at a swing, the market likes to sell off at these Venus retrograde cycles, as opposed to cryptocurrencies. Where are we at? there's that cycle right there. Get rid of this and this. So here's Venus retrograde in Bitcoin. Pretty flat trade the last cycle we had, but that's not exactly what we want to look for. What happens when it exits? Bull run. Traded down, bull run. Venus retrograde, exit, was down move. This was Mt. Gox year. The year that took forever, if anybody was around during then. Venus retrograde cycle, bull move. And Venus retrograde cycle, boom move. All right, so we have high probabilities of equity markets tanking and Bitcoin markets or cryptocurrency markets rising. Coincide that with the rate decision today. There's some I don't want to get into like all the specific details, but there are so many crazy time cycles coming to a climax here in every single market. Currencies, equities, commodities, bond markets. We could get a repeat of 1994, the bond crash. We really could. Kind of creepy, but yeah. So, saying that, let's zip into our analysis. So buying the dip yesterday was the good idea. It worked out just fine. We should maybe look to see it continue. There is the case for some type of head and shoulder pattern forming here on the 4-hour chart. We'll see if that actually rounds out to trade down again, or if we just continue higher here. We'll see. Ethereum is the one that's really been kind of performing pretty nicely. Ultimately, we need to see a break of this trend line, get back above here, and burst past that 250 zone. That is the area we're looking at. Of course, the argument for this getting a little sell heavy up here to create a right shoulder definitely it's a good argument for selling pressure to form up here. That's why any entry on Ethereum or any of the other entries that we discuss, we'd want to be looking a little bit higher in our time frame and as for price entries. Litecoin doing very well, very nice move. It's responding very nicely to this 1/8 harmonic, which it has been trading against ever since August 9th. So August 9th, we've been trading in this consolidation zone around this 1/8 harmonic. And finally, we are seeing some trading up here. This is the exact center. Oh, no, actually, this is a brand new square. Oh, shit. This should rally pretty nicely from here, actually. It's brand new law of vibration cycle. Cardano doing nicely and staying above that 0.8 major harmonic of 79.21. Facing a little resistance on this 45. I know it doesn't look like a 45, or this, it's not the 45, it's a 1x2 angle here, which looks pretty steep, but it is performing pretty nicely so far. This trend line that was here was broken, and we should see it catch a little bit of a drive higher. Basic attention token, pretty nice move. Still needs to get beyond that trend line. We still need to break out above it. Now, other cryptos today have a similar kind of a bull flag pattern, and we should see it cross above because the others have. So a basic attention token in that respect is somewhat of a laggard here. And so the entry that I would like to get in on it is, I mean, well, if I wasn't in it already, would be above this swing high here. So looking at the 1749, but really the Bitcoin would be 2623. All right. EOS. Talked about this one yesterday. Had a trade idea going on with this one ever since last week, because we came up with this highlighted box here. This is you did good compilation channel. That's awesome. Bought the dips. Excellent. Yeah, that's actually some really great rallies we've gotten. And if somebody asks, why don't I put out profit targets or stops? Because the thing is how many of you have signed up for a signal service before where they give you targets and stops and you don't follow them anyways? I did. When I first got into trading, I participated in some signal services out of desperation because I thought, oh my God, somebody else take me out of my misery and get my money back in easy way. Because sure, for $20 a month, everybody becomes a millionaire with a signal service, right? Yeah, no, that doesn't work. They could work, but you have to have the discipline to stay in trades and to exit trades quickly. But unfortunately, that is the thing that holds a lot of people back from attaining profitability. So, saying that, I rarely issue profit targets. I rarely issue stops. If we're using the Ichimoku system, the stops are pretty easy. It's the cloud. If you're bullish, it's below the cloud. If you're in a bear trade, if you're short, it's above the cloud. If you're above the cloud trading long, the stop is below the cloud, and vice versa. EOS, beautiful area that it stopped at yesterday right here on the arc. I love this market geometry for cryptocurrencies. For whatever reason, the respect that is given to these Gann arcs are pretty nuts. Anybody who's been with us for a little while has seen these charts, seen the same instruments that we're looking at, can testify to the effectiveness of this. But that pullback down there yesterday was a pretty nice gift. The trade that we were looking at this morning was one where I wanted to see it get above this 45-degree angle. Not really concerned about whatever trend line may be sitting here, but looking for it to go a little higher. This trade idea, when did we do that? EOS. Yeah. Excuse me. Banking here and trading up. Definitely see that happening. This is on the 20th of September. Did that 6 days ago. Almost a week ago. So, EOS, beautiful trade. More than likely we would get past, I would say by Friday, if we want to have a nice a bullish bias moving forward, we would want to be trading around $6.50 zone. That would be saw the dip. Did you get the dip though, Alex? We'll see. Iota is, I don't have a chart constructed for Iota. I don't know why, but Iota is a great opportunity here. I got into it. It's got a really nice breakout it could have here. Where are we at? Head and shoulders all over the place. Depending where you want to draw this, we could draw it there. But really, you don't even need to draw the head and shoulders. Just that's the break we want. Break above here at 58.08. EOS Finex will prove the scalability for EOS. Yeah, it will. It definitely will. Or if anything, it'll provide some integrity to the claimed scalability. Scalability is really the biggest issue for a lot of cryptocurrencies, and for a lot of the third generation blockchains that are coming out, namely Cardano, they aim to have all of these situations solved at launch, where it won't need to be forked and it will scale automatically. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. They got a lot of people in lab coats with a whole bunch of alphabet letters next to their names on that team. It's easily got to be like the most I mean, the student debt that makes up that team's got to be got to be massive. The highest out of any development team in cryptos in the world. Got to be. Nano, we had a pretty good drive. Oh, where are we at? But Nano is still floating. What the hell is up with that? Not seeing I don't like Nano where it's at to get into it at all. Walton Chain, this is a real winner from yesterday. It was one of the only trade ideas yesterday that we looked at. We got in at 44, but that was the Bitcoin pair. $0.044, right about there is where we were sitting at when we had the entry yesterday, and it's trading up pretty nicely right now. It is still a great entry because it is so far behind in its direction and performance compared to the rest of the aggregate market. It is just sitting here and really doing nothing. So that's a good one still. Then we had let's see, we had Ripple. We had a long on Ripple if there was a breakout at 56. That was from this morning. We got up to 56, traded higher, came back down. Really nothing showing why we wouldn't trade up higher again. But we'll see. Ripple is a interesting mover. This is very, very odd. Monero, we don't use ZRX. Now, what in the world? For some reason, all of my drawings are missing now. Oh, duh. Looking on the wrong ones. Here we go. Ripple. The hard part for Ripple is this pivot. This is an inner harmonic, a 6/8 inner harmonic, 5481. This is going to be a naturally difficult zone to cross above or below, but once we finally do trade above it and hold above it on a daily chart, that should maintain. So, if we're looking at if we're going to get all Elliott-y here and do a 1-2 if we finished our first corrective wave, and if we're looking at this as the third leg, then this should trade higher. We should be looking for that move to be much bigger. Yeah, we can do Dash. Dash is definite. Zcash. Zcash is just really stair-stepping up, following the arc like a lot of these pairs that are trading in here. It did 20. Oh yeah, I'm happy somebody else caught that. I didn't even write that down. This drive will be pretty expansive if we retest that 882. The 882 Fibonacci level, that's not one that's probably really popular or well known. It's really crazy important in harmonics and Gartley patterns. So Gartley patterns are the funky ones that they look like this, or versions of that. They're based on Fibonacci ratios, and some Gartley patterns are a little bit more subjective in how they complete, where you can have a pretty wide variance of the Fibonacci level for a price to hit, and some of them are really strict. H.M. Gartley originally wrote that book. I think it was in the 50s or the 40s. And then there's a new guy a contemporary harmonic author who capitalized more on the Gartley harmonics. His name's Scott Carney, and his book is fantastic. And Scott Carney actually found more patterns, and some of them are really, really strict. And Scott Carney pointed out that the 882 and 886 Fibonacci levels are naturally strong zones to find prices get rejected from. And if you were to really look at any kind of swing on any kind of time frame, you would definitely see the 882 and 886 be very, very strong zones of resistance. So if you ever wonder, if there's an area that's a historical support or resistance level, and price kind of gets to it, so you count it as testing that. It was probably because it got stopped by the 882 level. And 786 is really not that important, but yeah. So Zcash trading up pretty nicely. ZRX, oh my god, I love this guy. This is the best gift of 2018 so far. I love ZRX. Is anybody else here taking positions in the Coinbase 5 that we've gone over in here? Because they are doing very well. Some are lagging, but when the other ones are working out, they are working out very nicely. They easily have some of the highest cumulative volume over the past couple months. So there's definite things going on in there. Right. So let's take a look at Dash. Thought I had Dash here, but maybe I don't. Picked up ZEC. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are going to be, you know, the only one out of the Coinbase 5 that we talked about out of Cardano, Basic Attention Token, Stellar, and OX, and then ZEC. ZEC or Zcash is the only one that I'm a little leery about hanging on to for any length of time because it is a privacy coin, and you know, the masking of a transaction is not something any government really likes. Tough. So yeah, I get worried about those ones as far as being a tradable thing, like a tradable coin. So I worry about their longevity. But Dash, take a peek at Dash. Throw it over to the dollar. I swear to God I have done a chart on Dash, but maybe I haven't. So Dash is super fast, and I'm honestly surprised Dash isn't doing better than a lot of them. That's a big low that it's coming off of. You know, where's that all-time high? I'm going to square this bad boy out real quick. Oops. Settings. Oh, God, no. Probably. Dang it. Okay, I like that better. Cool. Not this all-time high back there, but just this one here. Is this the... Yep. There's the low. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty neat that it converges right there. There's our all-time low. Got it. Go back. There we go. I got rid of these colors. I do not like the colors. There we go. Okay. Well, that makes sense why we're so congested. And auto fit. So the nice thing about Dash... Oh, Digibyte. I love Digibyte, by the way. Digibyte is cool. So, looking at this right now, we've transitioned into a brand new square, which is nice, and the fact that we're above the 45-degree angle just because we transitioned into it, it's pretty nice. as long as we stay above this angle here, there's a pretty good bullish bias that we should see. When things move into new squares, especially at their tops or their bottoms of the square, this is a choppy as hell zone that really sucks. This is more of a zone that you either want to stay out of or you just want to hold on to and then wait either for it to make an expansive move higher or wait in time for it to come to the 45, because ultimately when you get to the 45 here, this means that price and time are in equilibrium. So whatever price is trading at, that is the at best equal value. It's not neither bullish nor bearish. So you'd have to wait till October 11th or 12th or 13th, but from a hodling perspective, it's fine where it's at. I really don't see a lot of reason to be apprehensive about Dash. Compared to the rest of the market, this one's down and not moving a lot. It's a good value. Like when we're looking at the laggards in the market, like we looked at a Walton Chain, Waves, and now Dash and DigixDio back a few weeks ago. I think who was it yesterday had a 14% gain on that pick. But yeah, those are things like this are good to spot, especially if we know that the market is catching a nice bit of a bid and it's getting a lot of activity back. Then things like this are really important to get into early. Okay, so we got Dash, and then we wanted Digibyte. I think is that DGB? Yeah, Digibyte. Yeah, Bittrex. I don't think it's on Binance, if I remember. I know it's a Bittrex coin. Bittrex. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, that's been around for a while. All right, let's do the weekly. Well, we know the high is up here, and then the low. God, what is the low? Go to the month. Looks like we're seeing it's in December of 2014. Surprised December was a down month. December. Of 2014. Come on. Oh, hear noises again. There's our low. Let's see, square this out. Oh, that means it's really, really out there. Budge. What is the ratio here? We've got 17 days in price. LTC and ICX, yeah, I'll take a peek at those. Now, oh my God. This chart's being kind of a pain in the butt. Grr. Okay, I'm going to come back to DigixDio because I know the other two are easier to work with. Or not DigixDio, Digibyte. I will come back to this one though. All right, so LTC, yes, let's look at Litecoin. This is a beautiful one. I really like Litecoin where it's at. Litecoin's got a whole bunch of things going for it. So, one, it's been in a very constricted consolidation zone ever since it came down to the 1/8 harmonic. This 1/8 major harmonic is pretty much like the last major support on any chart that you see. A large of my charts where you see a yellow line like this and it's got a 1/8 next to it, or it's near the bottom of a chart. That is like the final major support where if you start to spend any time trading below it, you're pretty much just drifting into nothingness. Like the next support below $56 is the 0/8 major harmonic, and that's at $1. So technically $1 is actually the very last ultimate support zone. But if we're gonna be looking at any kind of expansion, this is what we're looking at, because these major harmonic levels, the 2/8 and the 1/8, they act as natural oversold indicators. So this is the first oversold condition, and then this is the extreme oversold condition. So the more time that is spent sitting on this, the higher the drive up is going to be. That's really just that's kind of technical analysis 101 is, however long an instrument spends in consolidation, you can expect an equal amount of that. You basically just invert time to price, and you'll have an equal move in price as you did in time. Okay? Now, my jaw hurts today for some reason. Looking at this zone, this is awesome. So we're transitioning not only from an entire square, we're starting a brand new square, and this is coming off of a major harmonic, the 1/8 major harmonic. This is sexy to me. This is freaking awesome, especially because we had this nice. If we close like this for the day, that's a nice pivot that we've got here, a bullish pivot set up with the candlesticks. Both of the outside candlesticks have higher highs and higher lows than the middle one, and we're closing higher than the center. So we'd like to see more volume though, but this is a nice bullish setup here. Time pivot wise, this is right. This is ripe for a bounce. So, Litecoin just technically is. We want to look at a laggard, and this is why I think Litecoin is actually a fantastic coin to look at for growth value, whatever you want to call it. Is that it's lagging? It's a major coin, so I consider anything in the majors to be something that is traded on Coinbase. Some people might disagree, but Coinbase still has. It's got a reputation behind it. It's got institutional participation. It's got custodianship. It's a really, really, no matter what you think about Litecoin or not, it's still important. So this entire zone here, love it. It's awesome. This is a perfect zone. If we're looking at a time price ratio, there's really the target area is the next square price and time zone. That's right up here. Boom. 111. Or if we want to get really technical, if we're looking at November 14th, pull up the square of 9. Where are you at? And we're at 56 right now. A couple ways, depending on who you listen to, you can choose the numbers right off here or do the square roots. What did we say, November? Yes, November would be more like November. What did I say? November 12th? November 12th, 111 was what was on there. Yeah, so square price and time is 112. That is a target area for a square price and time is right around there. Oh, dude, it is totally hyped again. So, This is why people say, oh, people coordinate this. I don't know if they do. I don't think so, because again, I'm a Gann based trader, so you know, any of you who are with us in the morning for Forex Lens, you know, as a Gann trader, we follow this pattern, and there's a pattern that's in nature, it's everywhere, and so we view the market as something that is non-random and that it's fixed, and that isn't just with the market, it's like with everything, human behavior, just looking at the market as something that you try to get into, like that saying, the trend is your friend. Nothing represents a more dogmatic approach to that than Gann, because we're looking for that pattern to follow. And we know that time is Gannists believe that time is the ultimate factor for why trends change. But we know that price and time, they can get out of sync. They can diverge from each other. They can deviate. And so ultimately, if we get a time-based signal like right here, which is telling us that there should be a large response to the upside because this is a brand new cycle starting off of a major harmonic, there should be a very rapid move up and away from this zone. And if there's not, that just means that we're waiting for price to catch up. So the longer it waits, the more powerful the move gets. But yeah, crypto's hyped. I mean, yesterday, this is so frustrating. The CNBC on CNBC right near the end of the trade day, the CEO of Coinbase was on, and he was talking about how they're speeding up the process to add more coins, which they have to. They're going to get run out of business by the retail traders, by Binance and Bittrex. So instead of them going to approach, or instead of like people trying to persuade Coinbase to get some people, or Coinbase approaching, they've sped up the process. So hopefully the additional cryptos going on Coinbase is going to be a lot more. I expect them to be vetted more than they are on other exchanges still, but that's bullish. And then yesterday, Google and Facebook announced that they are that they're ending their their ban on cryptocurrency related advertising. That applies to, like, they're still not doing ICO stuff, no ICO advertising or anything like that, but exchanges, news, anything crypto related. So that alone is a big deal, because that's just gonna flood the entire interwebs and get all the sheep back in to pump all these things up again for us, so we can exit in the fall, late fall, early winter before Christmas, take our gains, walk away, then wait for it to fall down again and repeat the cycle. So Litecoin, again, excellent zone. I really like the area that we're at. Actually, we had a long trade on it this morning at 57.88 was what came out, so that is still good. I mean, depending on what the close is today, it's still a great area for Litecoin. And ICX, yes, that one is catching a big drive too. There's ICX. Ooh, it dropped down below the channel, which is weird. But here again is another crypto that is lagging quite a bit, and it's right on its. So if this was Litecoin's chart, here would be 56, and here would be $1. So the 48 cent zone is the ultimate last to go low zone. And I mean, I really don't know what you would want to wait for as far as catching a drive up on something here, because this is really the odds of it going lower, of you catching a deeper discount than what it is already, not very likely. I mean, unless we were to get back into a pretty broad bear market again, then this would travel lower. But otherwise, these are levels to get in. And very quickly, folks, we could be looking at some cryptos where if it'll feel like we missed the boat on some, and we'll be looking at ones that we'll be leaving some coins alone that already have signaled, hey, we missed the boat. We'll be looking for shallower, deeper pullbacks on them in the future. Right now, we're looking for anything that's tradable that has appropriate volume, that is really lagging the rest of the market as far as its technicals and its direction. Waves. I think this is Waves is a bit of a silent killer here. I took a bit of a stake in Waves this morning. There was not a lot of response to Waves. They have over 1 million. I forgot what the news was. I mean, fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with Waves. The blockchain is very fast, very efficient. Do your own due diligence. But from a trading perspective, it's awesome because it's lagging the entire market. Really don't need to draw any squares or anything. It's just really, there's a lot of sell pressure on it. Even today, it caught a nice bid and it's been hammered down. Things like this, when a market is moving a lot higher and it's getting momentum, both price wise, volume wise, and sentiment wise, and things happen like this, I don't want to say thanks. That's cool. Love it. Waves is a great one to take a peek at. Like, I like this pullback, actually. This is awesome. This is better than what mine got taken at. That's a nice one. Let's see what ZRX is doing right now. Still looking pretty healthy. Zcash still staying above the arc. Ripple, little sell pressure. XLM kind of hanging out. Walton Chain still doing nice. I mean, as we get to this arc, it's going to have a little difficulty, but it should shoot up again. Basic attention token. Again, really needed to break above there to catch our bid. It's been stopped quite a bit there. God, this is ugly price action. Look at the wicks all over the place on this. This is just ping pongs all over the place. Cardano could be getting a nice breakout. Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's and Bitcoin's charts, again, there is some cause for concern depending on how these form, okay? There's been no end of these head and shoulder patterns forming at the bottom of the trend. And I'll tell you something about head and shoulders patterns that do that. So, head and shoulders patterns, Bulkowski did a study on them and found them to be the #1 rated pattern to trade, as long as you wait for a neckline break. However, a regular head and shoulders pattern that forms in a swing low or at a market bottom is not a bullish. I mean, it's not a strong bearish sign for people who want to short. It is a very heavily rejected pattern. I mean, crypto head and shoulders patterns have a high, one of the highest probabilities of the pattern failing to complete. But once it does complete, it has the highest profit potential. That's why I'm going to say this every day we talk, because people like head and shoulders patterns. You only trade a head and shoulders pattern once a neckline has been broken. Chasing head and shoulders patterns, trying to get in a short at the top here because you think this is the right shoulder, or thinking you can get in a little early before it completes, has been the ruin of many a trader's account. So neckline breaks, that's the only way you know a head and shoulders pattern has been complete, when a neckline breaks. And we've seen on large time frames and we've seen on smaller time frames a series of these head and shoulder patterns pop up here at the bottom that have just been rejected, and that is something that we should see continuing. So, but looking at it on the hourly or the 4 hour, there is a concerned that we could get a right shoulder formed, but I mean, just it is the afternoon right now. Every time we visit, this is the time of day when people start taking profit. This is the time when things start to pull back a little bit. This is totally normal to see some selling pressure come in, and very normal to see this during this time of the day. But it wouldn't put a too big of a red flag up here for concern. So it's pretty normal. There's a lot of oomph behind this market right now. So, and it'll be interesting to see what happens at 2:30. There should be some interesting moves at 2:30 and especially in our forex markets. So a lot of inverse trend moves. So let's go back to Digibyte. That's DigixDio. Digibyte. Is there a different exchange that has this? DGB. Poloniex. Theirs might be a little better, actually. Yeah, this is a lot easier to read. Definitely. Man, this has been here for a while. Oh, not really. Okay, our swing low is over there. It's going to be a pretty tight square right there. All right. All-time high is up here. Man, this is going to be a funky one to try in. That's what we'll have to do. Okay. It won't be pretty, but we'll get it. Gann square fixed. Damn you. All right. Now that should be, yeah, okay, we're good there. Let's bring this back. Oh, it doesn't look too bad, actually. Actually, it looks pretty clean. There and here. All right. Yeah, I like the square. Looks pretty nice. So it's okay, it's drifting along here. It's really not doing any clear direction. It's below this 45, but this is a steep 45. This is kind of a pain in the butt. Well, I mean, fractals are fractals are fractals. I would not enter in yet until we were to get above yeah, right here. Probably right there. 405. Yep. What are we trading at? 377. Check here. And we are, what's it? That's September 26th. Yeah, and then we loop around. Yeah. 425 is fine. 412, 425. That would be perfect. That would be the entry I'd be looking at there, right around here. Anywhere between 415, 425. Bring us back above this 45. It would break the high of this recent swing high here and then over here as well. 415 to 425. I think that's a safe entry if you want to ensure you don't have to suffer a lot more down drive. How about just at 420? It's a good number. Good rounded number. Consequently, 420, because some market maker has a sense of humor, that is the all-time high for Litecoin. On Coinbase, at least. High. Look at that. Top left corner. Open 218.57. The high was 420. Somebody likes to play games. All right. Okay, not much else to really take a peek at here. Just looking to see what. Let's take a look at the weekly real fast before we close out here. Weeklies are showing a series of higher lows in Litecoin. Probably see that in Ethereum as well. Higher lows. Bitcoin. There's a lower low followed by a higher low. This is the price action is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It's not going to take long and much for this to just blow up out of here. We are still down for the week, but we'll keep an eye on it. Cardano. That's a beautiful volume. Last week's volume. This is awesome. Basic attention token. Higher lows. As long as they're making higher lows, folks, that's a good thing. Nothing to be upset about. Dang it. One thing I wanted to go over and I didn't get to is Gann swing charts. Somebody asked about this before, but Gann swing charts are there's two ways you can look at them. TradingView has Gann swing charts that look like Kage charts. Kage charts actually are a play off of Gann swing charts, but Gann didn't actually he drew these, but what he used a lot was it was an overlay. It looks like a zigzag overlay. Where are we at? And all it is, it just measures swings. So he used 2-bar and 3-bar reversals, but now a lot of the experts in the field are saying the 2-bar is actually more relevant to today than the 3-day reversal. So like this falls under if you have difficulty like telling where a trend is at, you do this on a daily chart. So for example, this area right here was bearish and then it turned bullish. When did it turn bullish? It turned bullish when there were two daily candlesticks that closed higher than the prior. So when these two candlesticks formed higher highs than this one here, then it turned into a bullish move, and then you can go long. Same with a short. When you get just to the reverse of it. So this can be emulated somewhat on TradingView if you use the zigzag tool. I actually put in the values already, but here's the let me do it on Bitcoin actually. On TradingView, this is what it looks like. It doesn't color code them, but this looks pretty similar to this. All right, this is as close as I could get it. So the settings here, if you want to use these as like a swing chart, then what we're looking at is the deviation percent is 0.959, depth of 2. I don't know why I put that there. But this is as close as I could get it to emulating the actual Gann swings, or you could do it manually. But this is something that I think helps some folks. I know it's helped other folks in the past where they tried to trade intraday, but they don't know which direction to trade in. And you apply this to your daily trading, and as long as there has not been a daily close that's going to change the trend, you just continue to trade in that direction. Okay. We'll go over more about this tomorrow, but yeah. Otherwise, we've had a few trade ideas put in for the day. Monitor these. What happens here at the end of the day. Don't be freaked out if we do have some selling pressure come in, because it is the end of the afternoon. It's normal for this to happen. Looks like we have an inside bar forming on the daily. This is great because that makes the entries on a daily chart for tomorrow very easy. Inside bars are great. They're like, I don't know if anybody else likes inside bars, but they're fun to trade because they're usually reversals. They have very clear, easy to identify entries and exits. Inside bars are great. So anyways, I hope your guys' week has been good for you so far. Hope Monday and Tuesday were going well for you. Forex Lens, folks. So we'll probably have a lot to talk about tomorrow, because in about 28 minutes we'll have FOMC notes and then New Zealand rate decision as well later on this evening. And the rest of you, I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Have a good trading day for the rest, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.